Try and record Dawn's entrance to the scene. Here we go. Should be coming in now.
Morning, Mark.
Morning. All okay? You got your shopping dress on? There you go. That's my
Smart little dress. I'm going to have a slurp of water now.
All right. So it's episode 60, Friday, 22nd of May, 2020. I wonder if we'll get to 100 before we got an excuse to get out of doing this. But,
It is quite difficult, but I mean, the reason you put it on Facebook in the first place is because we were doing an experiment on Zoom, and it was the test, wasn't it? And it was quite funny. So at the end of the day, we get stuck in anything.
We're definitely not so funny now.
No, we're a bit serious.
Anyway, yesterday, music. Tony Fulbrook back on form. In quickly with, he recognised the national anthem. And the link was with the England football team song from the day before. So well done, Tony. Gets a point for that. And we go on to today's. So we got to guess the song, the artist, and the link to yesterday. Here we go. Just to give a little flash of it, hopefully. Get that? Could you hear that?
Yes, I could hear it, yeah.
Hopefully that's okay. There we go. No other clues currently. I suspect somebody will get that. It'll just be a case of who gets up earliest and who's not working the hardest. Right. So now we got. I've dragged up another photo of a viewer who's given some feedback, and today it's Simon Fraser.
Ah, that was when he was running the marathon.
He was, yeah, and he was running it for the Willow organisation. I'm just going to give a subtle mention to. It's a cancer charity. Simon lost his sister quite a few years ago now, and chose the Willow Foundation to support. And that was started by a guy called Bob Wilson. Do you remember Bob Wilson?
I do. I met Bob Wilson. I did with it. He came to. I'm sure he came to one of our business, somewhere I was working. I'm sure he came there a couple of times. In fact, I met him when I was working in Tunbridge Wells, and I met him. I'm sure he came. I don't know why. I've met him a couple of times.
Which Bob Wilson are you talking about?
I don't know. Oh no, it's Bob Wilmer. The guy who took the sports thing. So I always get the names muddled up, don't I? I'm hopeless.
Who's Bob Wilson then? Any idea?
He wasn't he a goalkeeper?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. And it wasn't the World Cup, but I mean, he certainly was a famous goalkeeper. Played for England.
He was a goalkeeper for Arsenal, and I've got a feeling he took Scottish nationality and got one cap for Scotland, but I could be wrong on that. I'm Googled him or Wikipedia'd him. But yeah, but his daughter, he lost his daughter to cancer and set up the Willow Foundation.
Yes, he did, didn't he? Yes. Yeah. I think he did a television programme, wasn't it?
I met him once when we did a charity football match at Charlton Athletic Club with work years ago. But yeah, that's who he is. And that's who Simon was supporting in the marathon.
You got a picture of Bob Wilson?
No, no, I haven't. No, if he gives a bit of feedback, if he watches and gives some feedback, I'll put him up there. But no,
okay. Okie dokie.
No. Feedback, not a lot of feedback yesterday, and quite reassuring to see the viewing figures stabilising at the hardcore, about 100 or so.
I think people are getting slightly more busy. I mean, certainly, I went to the garden centre yesterday. I didn't want to go when they first opened because I thought there'd be a long queue or whatever. And so I just popped in because I needed some rose clear. And then I brought a few plants as well to cheer the place up. And so, but I went straight in, went round, and then had a little look round. Hardly anybody in there. And then straight out and paid, etc. It was very well controlled. In fact, it was probably a better experience than the supermarket. So,
Sure.
Yeah. But I wouldn't go at the weekend, or certainly, because everybody would go at the weekend, wouldn't they?
Yeah, maybe people are busy, but it was reassuring that they just weren't clicking on to view it, to listen to the music about 10 times, etc. So that was good. But Mark Pitcairn-Knowles clarified that in answer to Graham Saker's question, personal protective equipment has to be double bagged, disposed of by double bagging it, left 72 hours, but then just goes out with the normal rubbish, because I suppose the virus has died by then if it was there.
They say the virus can live 72 hours on services, don't they? They know that for a fact, so, you know.
Yeah. Grazia talked about communication on the feedback, and
it's a pet hate, lack of communication, isn't it? Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Aggravation if it's not done properly, which we can all relate to, I'm sure. Won't go down that.
We don't need to go down that, because it's a long, long moan, isn't it? About people lack of communication, thinking you understand what they want, and then suddenly you find out that you don't. And it is about timing. It's better to, especially when you're doing something like laying people off, because it does affect their lives a great deal. So you need to do it in a controlled manner, and managers should have been informed at the same time.
Don't go into we don't want to go into the details.
I know, but I'm just saying that people should be informed at the same time. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Moving on to happier things, Graham was backing up the view of Jock, the bus driver, as an unsung hero, and he remembered him proudly exclaiming to one of his fellow drivers at an event, saying, "That's my team that's winning." It's just.
And as you said on your comments, that he was, when the senior men won the cross country title for the third time, he was in tears, and he just so proud of them.
He talked about him, but don't go into too much detail. I'm just going to let Oscar in.
Okay. There's nothing like anything going wrong in this life. So in a sense, Jock he loves Tonbridge, and he says, "Come on, Tonbridge," and he's very supportive of him, of the team. So he's a wonderful guy. Get on with it, will you? Get back down here, Mr. Producer, otherwise I'm going to leave.
Have you heard that? What's that? Just a minute, where you have to talk for 60 seconds on a subject.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. You're thinking, what the heck can I say? And then that stops you. That delays that brain getting into gear.
Yeah. Final bit of feedback from Canada. Hubert Bunce getting quite.
Has he finished his fence?
I know he didn't. He missed out mentioning that, but he got.
We need to know. We need to know, Hubert, whether you finished your fence.
He got very controversial about politicians.
I've got some party poppers to release and everything when he finishes his fence.
I'm talking about politicians now.
Oh God, really? Oh, yeah. My pet hate.
I know, I won't get you on that, but I did point out to him, the trouble is, whatever politicians say, they're going to get slated from one angle or another.
Oh God, yeah. Who wants that job? That's the worst job in the world, because the media and whoever is going to criticise you. I don't understand. This is the bit I'm really sort of like perplexed about. Why, in everybody's day's life, do they think the government is to blame? It's beyond me. But that's all I'm going to say on the subject. Well, guys, try looking in the mirror, because sometimes it's your fault that things go wrong. It's not necessarily the government. They do make silly rules that don't necessarily you want to apply to, but at the end of the day, you have to have rules.
Thing is, when you think about all the hundreds or thousands of people that have passed through your life, how many of you met that desperately want to be a politician?
Oh, I shouldn't think anybody. I've met people who want to make changes, but to make changes, you need to be in the right place, don't you, at the right time?
Yeah, so, I mean, I said 1% of people, but it's going to be a fraction of 1% want to be a politician. So that's who you're left with for who could be a politician. That's who you're left with to vote. So you're not really getting the best people putting their names forward necessarily. So it's going to be a bit of an odd one, isn't it? You know, because some of the best people around will have skeletons in their cupboard and bits and pieces in their life that they don't want scrutinised at every moment.
I honestly think that it takes lots of different people, people to run a country, etc. And you need good people, and you don't need the media crucifying them left, right, and centre. Okay, they do get things wrong, but everyone's human. So, if I look at it as like running a business. If someone is totally incompetent, then you have no choice but to get rid of them. But the majority of the people who have to resign because of their personal lives, it seems a little bit unfair. I wonder how many people in the news industry have got skeletons in their cupboard. Anyone know about that? If you've got a good juicy story about Piers Morgan, let's hear it. Come on, guys, let's put a little bit of news about them. I just can't bear by people who want to blow the world up. Get on with the next subject.
That would be a bit extreme. Yeah, have you come up? So that was it, really. So not a lot going on unsung heroes. Nobody's got an unsung hero in their life. I've had loads. So.
I think you just appreciate people because you just can't be bothered to do the job yourself.
Yeah, very true. Have you come up with anybody then?
Well, my unsung heroes, you're going to say, but we pay them. I love the gardeners because they come and they save me a lot of hard work. So I love them, and to me, they're my heroes because they come and they do some of my hard.
Let me quote Hubert Bunce yesterday in a second.
But at the end of the day, he doesn't like politicians rattling on about how good the police are and
it's their flipping job, as he says.
This is your point of view. You want to know who my unsung heroes are. They're people that help me. Sorry, mate, but you've got a different perspective in life. I don't think you know which end of the fork to use, to be quite honest. Well, you do, but then you dig up flowers rather than weeds.
Yeah.
Go with your list then. You're so clever, and I'll come with mine.
Contribute to him because he's no longer with us. So that's Mick the plumber. Tell everybody.
Oh gosh. Oh no, it's the saddest story I've heard, and it's going to upset me.
Oh, right, we better not do that then. Mick the plumber, viewers, he was a guy we were introduced to. He used to come round at short notice, do these odd jobs that, like, we had a burst pipe last thing he did for us, and water was spewing everywhere. I thought, oh my God, of course it comes at a weekend or something, or Friday evening, I think it was, freezing cold night. He was a good old boy who we were introduced to, and he'd shoot round with his van, all the kit he got in there, years of stock built up, and he'd do it, and then he'd refuse to take any money for it. And he just liked helping out people who, he'd essentially retired, but he just liked helping out a few customers who he liked, and for some reason he liked Dawn. So he would come round and help out, and I'd force money in his hand to get him to take it. Unfortunately, he didn't have a very good family life, so he saw a few customers as his friends. So quite a sad story. He passed away not long ago. So yeah,
he had cancer and
unsung hero. Right, Dawn. Yeah. We move on to somebody else then. Fred the Trophy. I've got Mick the plumber and Fred the Trophies.
These are people that help you, and they're unsung. So well, you see, and you pay Fred as well to do the job.
A fraction.
Same principle. Same principle here.
Now, this is trophy engraving. I don't think he's making huge amounts of money out of it, or significant money out of it. He does.
No, you can't criticise someone and then make somebody who you pay, regardless of whether you feel it's fair or not, a fair amount, and then say, sorry, mister, but you can't have your opinion about my unsung heroes and then put one down in the same category almost. Well, sorry.
Fred will engrave about 40 trophies a year for us, a tiny amount. And I'm not sure what we'll do without him, because I think trophies cost like 15 quid for a small engraving each. It would cost us a fortune otherwise, so that's good. And finally, I've got Paul Hills from Dartford Harriers, who gets up really well. He first of all finds courses for the Kent Cross Country League and the Kent Championships, and actually next year's English Schools Championships. Then he goes around and makes sure that it's all marked out early in the morning, hours before anyone gets there, and clears up at the end. And he rides around on his mountain bike, making sure everyone knows where they're going. He does a great job there, and yeah, getting a very difficult task because there aren't that many venues around for cross-country fixtures with parking and everything. So I had Paul down as an unsung hero as well, because nobody really pays much attention to all that's going on the day of an event. What do you reckon to that one? And he's not paid.
Oh, well, that one's all right. That one falls into your category. Less complaints about that one.
Okay, good. Okay, that's good. Still like to hear about other people's unsung heroes and any other feedback. So hope you all have a good day, Friday. Not so sunny and hot, so but I hope you have a good one.
It's still warm. It's still 17.
Yeah.
Apparently today. Not 20. See you later. Bye.
Cheerio. Bye.